Chicago Sky fans, y'all need to be very, very careful in this moment. You need to be very, very careful. It looks like Angel Reese wants out, y'all. Angel Reese seems to be looking for a way out of the dumpster fire that is the Chicago Sky. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't blame her.
The Chicago Sky organization is spiraling out of control. And first-year head coach Tyler Marsh brought in to deliver championship. Pedigree from his days in Las Vegas has now hit his breaking point.
And a lot of people are, calling out Angel Reese right now. And I think we are in a world where, when it comes to Angel Reese, everything is under a microscope. And I think there are a lot of people that want to look at everything as negative when it comes to her. Just like at the same time, there's the same thing with all these players. Like everything stars do is going to be under a microscope. So, for me anyway, this isn't the most serious thing in the world. But a lot of people were pointing out that Angel Reese did not show up.
With his team mired in a miserable 8-23 record, one of the worst in franchise history, and rumors swirling that star player Angel Reese has effectively checked out for the season, Marsh unleashed a blistering critique. His words cut beyond. Poor performance, targeting the broken culture that has corroded this one-sprout organization from within.
On Angel Reese that I'm sure will trigger a bunch of people.
Let's hear your thing.
But I think Angel Reese, and I'm going to say this with my chest out, I think she's a quit.
Man, as much as I want to disagree with Jason, but I got to admit, I think he's right. And I want to disagree with him. So
Tyler Marsh arrived in Chicago expecting a promising rebuild. Fresh off guiding the Las Vegas Aces to back-to-back championships in 2022 and 2023, the 36-year-old coach inked a multi-year deal, confident he could mold rising stars like Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso into the foundation of something special. Instead, he inherited a roster built like a jigsaw puzzle with missing pieces, a locker room culture tainted by the previous regime, and a franchise player who seems unwilling to face real adversity.
what's up with Angel Reese, man? There's a pattern with this whole injury thing. Okay, first of all, she has a back injury and she's been gone for quite some time. But the report says is day to day. It's been more than a week. Okay, day to day is literally day to day. So, okay, sometimes it feels good, sometimes a little worse. Okay, that's just minor. But it should be good enough to play at any moment. That's what day to day.
The tipping point arrived during Marsh's post-game press conference after yet another humiliating defeat. This one, a 38-point, drubbing at the hands of the Seattle Storm. When questioned about his team's glaring lack of effort and discipline, and amid growing whispers surrounding Reese's mysterious back injury and her absence from team activities, Marsh abandoned the usual guarded coach speak. Instead, he delivered a raw, unfiltered truth that sliced through organizational politics, like a hot knife through butter.
Three of our starters are out, and so yes, it's got something to do with that. But like I said last game, it's your will. It's something that you always have the ability to do, no matter who's on the roster, no matter who's stood up. I think that we showed that today. I was very proud, very proud of our effort. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. 8 players going into it. One we just signed 7 days ago, so it was tough to everyone up to speed at the same time. But we came into today with
We've got to be better in every way, Marsh said, his voice heavy with the frustration of a man watching his professional reputation unravel in real time. We need to be sharper, more focused, and execute the game plan far, far better. At the end of the day, there has to be a genuine will to win, and right now, we don't have that on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it's never an excuse. It's the details of what's the difference in our wins and losses, and a lot of it turns into the ability to take care of the ball. So it's never an excuse to be frustrating. And so but our locker room is full of professional basketball players. They understand the importance of it. It's just a matter of time.
If you're enjoying this, please subscribe. The unavoidable topic, of course, is Angel Reese. the player meant to be the foundation of Chicago's future. She's been conspicuously absent since July 29th, officially sidelined with a back injury. That comes with no clear timeline, no definitive cause, and a suspiciously convenient stretch of timing. Reese hasn't just missed games, she's disappeared from team activities altogether, even skipping key road trips like the recent clash with the Indiana Fever. Marcia's remarks on her absence carried the measured tone of a coach navigating a minefield. She wants to be out there. She's a competitor. She's a fighter. She's a winner, he said. The kind of polished phrasing coaches lean on when they can't openly criticize their franchise star. It's hard for her. Not to be there for her teammates, but we want her to be as healthy as possible when she's ready to return.
So we're going to be honest. We've seen everybody else that's injured. We've seen their injury. And we have also had updates and heard stuff about their injury. We've seen Caitlin injury. We've seen the Reese injury. We've seen Brianna Stewart injury. We've seen Ryan Howard injury. We've seen Jordan Canada injury. We've seen Kate Martin like last night. It was like, we've seen a lot of these injuries. We've seen Eric McDonald. We've seen Sydney Colson. We've seen and we've got updates. We didn't see Angel injury. We haven't heard no updates to anything.
Translation: Angel Reese seems healthy enough to stay active on social media and make public appearances, just not healthy enough to stand beside her teammates during the toughest stretch of their season. This is the same player who, as the losses piled up, cryptically posted in due time online, and who was reportedly involved in the locker room turmoil that pushed Kennedy Carter out the door. The most telling sign of Reese's waning commitment? While her teammates have slogged through an 8-game losing streak that erased any playoff hopes, she's been nowhere to be found on the bench, opting instead to conduct her rehab in isolation. And this comes from a player who logged 32 minutes against Washington on July 29th, Harrell's appearance, suggesting that whatever back injury she claims to be battling isn't severe enough to keep her off the court when she feels like playing.
Making her money in stat padding, but she can't handle losing. I should have known. It's the same pattern. Last year she had a wrist problem. This year she got a back problem. Next year what it's going to be? Well, God knows what it's going to be. But all her 5 million followers that badly voted for her to be on the WNBA All-Star team, please don't try to convince us that quitting is the way to go. Because it is not. Quitting is unacceptable. She quit on Unrivaled because her team was losing. She quit on Maryland. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure she would have quit on LSU if they wasn't stacked.
Perhaps the most revealing part of this saga is how it ties back to the Kennedy Carter drama from the offseason. Carter, who led the Sky in scoring in 2024 with 17.5 points per game, was abruptly cut amid reports of locker room tension and behavioral issues. Not long after, she posted a cryptic jab on social media about consistently making layups, a pointed shot at Reese, who managed just 42.4% on layup attempts last season. One of the worst marks in the WNBA, Carter's exit was billed as a move to fix the locker room culture. But it's become clear she wasn't the root of the problem, she was merely a symptom, the deeper issue. A franchise player who seemingly felt threatened by a teammate's success and helped orchestrate the removal of the team's most productive offensive weapon. Now with Carter gone and Reese mysteriously sidelined, the Sky have dropped 10 points of their last 11 games and are averaging under 70 points per outing. The irony is rich. Carter, painted as the locker room cancer, is now thriving in free agency and openly mocking the team that dumped her, while Reese, the chosen cornerstone, has effectively abandoned her team when they need her most.
Players, even traded draft picks. 2 years in, there's no improvement. Actually, they got worse.
What makes Marcia's situation so maddening is that he's being set up to fail by factors completely beyond his control. The roster, assembled by general manager Jeff Pagliocca, is a mess. The Sky lost Courtney Vandersloot to a season ending, a CL tear early in the year, traded away veteran leadership, and surrounded their young core with aging players who can't produce at a championship level. Marcia inherited a team with disastrous spacing, a fatal flaw in today's WNBA and guards shooting. Career worst numbers from 3 because the offensive system simply doesn't generate quality looks. Defensively, what was supposed to be anchored by Reese's rebounding and Cardoso's rim protection has instead collapsed into the worst unit in the league, surrendering 89.5 points per game while letting opponents shoot 46.9% from the field. It's not about losing, it's the way we're losing. Marsh admitted in perhaps his most brutally honest evaluation yet. We know we can't help off the strong side corner. We know we can't go under on shooters. That was my message, making sure we do the disciplined things and do them right, because that's the only way we get better. The problem. Discipline starts with buy-in from your best players. And when your franchise star is sitting at home posting cryptic social media messages instead of standing with her teammates, that buy-in becomes impossible.
We have to be real. The management has been terrible. Jeff P, horrible. Tyler Marsh has been bad. But like I said, he doesn't have much talent on the team, so we don't know if he can actually coach or not. Now, why is people saying, is Angel Reese trying to force her way out of Chicago? Is she done with this organization already in just her second year? And it is a great question. I don't know if man, I think you got to move somebody. Cardoso, you have to get an influx of talent.
Jeff Pagliocca, the architect of this mess, has been conspicuously silent as his so-called master plan collapses in real time. This is the same GM who publicly claimed he had lofty expectations for the season, then made a series of moves that all but guaranteed disaster. He let Kennedy Carter walk, ignored the team's glaring spacing issues, and assembled a roster lacking both seasoned leadership and young talent, ready to contribute now. The most damning proof of Pagliocca's mismanagement. The Sky are shelling out significant salaries to players like Kia Nurse, Rachel Banham, and Rebecca Allen, veterans described by one analyst as 1 or 2 years away from being out of the league. While those same players eat up minutes, that could be used to develop prospects for the future. To make matters worse, the Sky don't even own their 2026 first-round pick. It belongs to the Minnesota Lynx, meaning this historically bad season won't even produce a high draft choice. To help rebuild, it's not just poor management, it's organizational malpractice at the highest level.
We got the Chicago Sky general manager, Jeff P, throwing Angel Reese under the bus? Jeff P said he's had enough of missed layups. Oh my God, Jeff P! Jeff P! When you start acting like this?
Here's your rewritten paragraph with sharper flow and impact while keeping the core. Message intact. What's unfolding in Chicago goes far beyond injuries or questionable roster moves. It's a deep-rooted culture problem that starts at the top and seeps through every layer of the organization. When your supposed franchise player can simply decide she's done playing without facing consequences, when veterans are allowed to poison the locker room unchecked, and when decisions are driven by politics instead of basketball merit, you end up exactly where the Sky are now, the league's punchline. Marsh's remarks about needing a will to win weren't just about talent. They were about mindset, the difference between champions and pretenders. The Las Vegas Aces, where Marsh learned the ropes, embody that mindset. Players gut it out through injuries, lift each other up during tough stretches, and call out mistakes without fear. In Chicago, players drop cryptic social posts and vanish when things get hard. The defining image of this era might be Angel Reese grinning on the sideline after Kennedy Carter's shot over Caitlin Clark. Not just poor sportsmanship, but a glimpse into a player more invested in celebrating others' failures than her. Own team success. That same mindset now seems to be driving Reese's choice to protect her brand and stats instead of grinding through adversity. Alongside her teammates, do you want me to also make a shorter, punchier version for headlines? Or social media captions? Could make this really stick.
So Angel Reese, the most toxic player in all of basketball, is out here slapping clipboards. out of her coaching staff hand because she's so mad her team committed a foul in the clutch after she shot 15 free throws this game. This is the lowest of the low. Disrespect. You can show to your coaching staff. She trying to get y'all locked in, worried about the next play. And you so toxic with your terrible, awful attitude that you slap the clipboard out of her hand.
Here's a tighter, more hard-hitting rewrite of your paragraph, while keeping all the key points intact. Tyler Marsh is fighting a war he was never equipped to win. He's trying to coach basketball, while his franchise player treats availability like a personal choice. His roster was built by someone who clearly doesn't grasp the demands of modern basketball, and the organization has no real leadership to hold its stars accountable. The rumors about Reese wanting out of Chicago aren't shocking, they're inevitable. When you've built your image on being a winner but your team is historically bad, the easy out is to point fingers and ask for a fresh start. But the rest of the league isn't blind. They remember what happened with Carter. They've watched how Reese has handled adversity. No culture issues don't magically disappear when certain players arrive. They travel with them. Marsh's frustration is obvious because he's being judged on results he never had the power to change. If you'd like, I can also give you a sharper, more biting version that would hit even harder for social media or commentary pieces. That would make the tone feel even more explosive.
So basically, to make it clear one thing, that she either asked for a trade or demanded a trade. However, if you guys didn't see it, the end of it was like, obviously something like that. Angel Reese, heavy on the PS. Like, it does make it sound like, I mean this makes it sound like she is asking for a trade. Or she's at least implying she wants to be traded. Because at the end of the day, you just never know. You just never know what's the player's mind.
Here's your rewritten version with a sharper edge and smoother pacing. Discipline demands leadership, and leadership demands sacrifice. When your star refuses to sacrifice comfort for the team, when the front office refuses to sacrifice politics for sound basketball decisions, and when the organization refuses to sacrifice short-term branding for a long-term winning culture, you end up with the Chicago Sky, a team that plummeted from contender to punchline in just one disastrous season. The shame is that Tyler Marsh might actually be a good coach. His work with the Aces proves he understands winning basketball and player development. But even the best coaches are powerless when players resist being coached and executives fail to back their vision. In Chicago, Marsh is learning the brutal truth. Talent without commitment is worthless, and culture will always beat talent when talent won't work. With a playoff chance sitting at 0.1% and the franchise players seemingly checked out, the season is all but dead. The only suspense left is how much more damage will be done too. Marsh's reputation and the Sky's credibility before the final buzzer. If history is any guide, the answer is plenty. If you want to fuse all three rewrites you've given me so far into one long, flowing, hard-hitting editorial piece that reads like a viral sports column, that would make it even more impactful.